Step inside the eye of your mind, as you know you might find. Noel Leon.
Hello?
Hello, is that Noel?
Yes.
Noel, how are you doing? It's Jim and Nobby from F104 in Dublin.
Who?
Jim, I know, sorry, man.
Jim and who?
Jim and Nobby. I'm sorry, man.
Jim and Nobby?
Come on, man.
Fuck off. That's not, no.
I
no.
swear to God,
Put
man.
someone else on the phone.
All right,
Jim and Nobby, that sounds like two fucking kids' cartoon characters, two hand puppets. That's bollocks. I'm going to put the phone down now. Get an adult to call me back. Jim and Nobby.
Well, our real names are Jim and Mark, so if you want to call us that.
Oh, Jim and... Please don't. Do you refer to yourselves as Jim and Nobby on the radio?
Oh, yeah. They're names that stuck now. I know. They're stuck. We're stuck with them.
Jim and
if we call ourselves Jim and Mark, nobody knows who we're talking about.
True, that is quite boring, actually.
But getting abused by you is kind of like that's one of life's boxes ticked off.
That's what my cat always says.
Is that what you see when you meet you too? Do you tell Bono on the edge to fuck off?
Good Lord, no, don't speak to Bono like that. Call him Mr. Bono.
Mr. Bono.
So a really freaky thing just happened. Just as we were dialing your number, our radio station started playing Champagne Supernova.
Wow.
Still coining it, still raking it in.
Yes.
We just made you a few more quid. Not like you need it.
Noel Gallagher, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
It's good to talk to you.
Thank you.
It's a real honour. You've got a new album coming out.
Well, it's not for a while, but yes, it's on the way.
It's on the way. Chasing Yesterday.
Yeah.
What's the delay?
To be honest, I'm not too sure. I finished it in July. I don't know. I gave it to these people in this office and said, there you go.
Yeah.
And they said, they had a little meeting and said, March next year. And I was like, really? I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Oasis reissues and all that. We're still trying to flog that dead horse. Got to get that out of the way first, and then come the new album. Yeah, I don't know why it's taken so long, to be honest.
Are you happy with it?
With the album?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be putting it out if I wasn't happy. Yeah.
How many songs do you write before you realise, okay, I've got an album here?
Well, I've always got 30 songs, always, because in Oasis, towards the back end of it, I was only really writing 5 songs an album because the rest of the boys were writing songs as well. So I got quite a backlog from those days, and I kind of write all the time. I don't really sit down and say, right, today I'm going to start and write an album. It doesn't really work like that for me. I kind of noodle around all day and, put bits and bobs together. And then when I feel like starting a record, I kind of just go and, I just pick the songs that I think are going to work, and then it becomes apparent as you go on. I mean, I usually record for an album maybe about 16 to 18 songs. Just pick the best 10, the rest will be B-sides and extra tracks.
When a really good one comes to you, do you go out and celebrate? You go, oh, that's a good one, that one. Do you celebrate? Do you celebrate a good day at the office?
I do actually. I feel a sense of relief, because when the previous great song that you write, you think, well, maybe that's it now. I don't think I could ever write a song as good as that.
What is that song, though?
When on my last album, when I wrote "If I Had a Gun" and "What a Life," I thought, wow. I don't think I could probably do that again. And then when one comes off this album, which is called "The Dying of the Light," and then I wrote that, and I thought, oh yeah, wow, great, still there. But then it happened quite a lot on this record. The magic was still happening right up until the very end of me putting it together. So I'm in a bit of a good space with it all at the minute.
Now, the other night you were on Gogglebox.
Yeah.
And it seems to be full circle, because you wrote the theme tune to the Royal Family, and they're all sitting half the world away, and then the next thing you're on the couch.
That's right. I haven't seen it, so I don't know how it was edited, but I can tell you that the night doing it was one of the funniest nights I've ever had in my life with those two. I was thinking to myself afterwards, I don't know how they're going to edit that, because surely none of that's broadcastable.
I'll tell you what made the edit, Noel Gallagher. Do you think Louis Walsh knows where he is half the time?
There is going to come a point, though, right? There is going to come a point where he's going to go, I think you have what it takes. I think you have what it takes to be the next biggest boy band. And someone's going to go, Louis, it's one of the girls.
So that was the line that just, that is brilliant. But I also can't, you had to admit, because of your daughter, that you watch X Factor. Noel Gallagher watches X Factor. What?
Yeah. Well, I've got 40. Have you got kids?
Not yet, no.
Okay, right. Well, hopefully by the time you have kids, and hopefully if it's a girl, by the time she's 14, X Factor will be finished and it'll be consigned to the dustbin. But as we're in the midst of it now, What do you think my 14-year-old daughter would say if she said, "Come on, at 8 o'clock, Dad, X Factor," and I'm going, "Nah, I was going to watch something on Sharks on the National Geographic channel." She'd just be like, "No, you're not, you idiot. Put X Factor on.
Who's
Get
going
the
to win?
popcorn out."
Who do you think's going to win?
I thought the Italian guy at first.
Yeah.
And now there's a girl,
Lauren.
the little girl, the only girl that's left actually.
I think her name was Lauren. She did Happy last weekend. You were loving that.
Yeah.
Your little head was bopping away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's good. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really matter who wins it anymore. It's easy TV to watch, isn't it?
By the way, forget all the albums, all the amazing songs you've written over the years. This came up on Friday as well. One packet of crisps for the rest of your life. What type of crisp would it be?
Well, it's always a toss-up between. There's three, right? And it's I could either it's the pickled onion Monster Munch, the beef Monster Munch, or the fucking salt and vinegar square crisps.
I don't think we get any of those.
We have Monster
Tato
Munch.
ones.
Have you tried Tato? I assume you have.
Of course, yeah. God, I've got a cupboard full of them.
And you know that your pronunciation of your surname really is Gallagher.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, but being a Mancunian and it having the letter G in it, we are duty bound to pronounce that G. It's like if I was to go to school and say, my name's Gallagher, they'd go, "Oh, Gallagher. Your name's Gallagher." Do you know what I mean?
Is it nice to have Johnny Marr on this album?
It was great to have Johnny on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to get him on the previous album, but he was busy doing something else, and I kind of had the track. You've not heard it yet, but the track, there was specific gaps in it where it needed something, and I left them specifically in the hope that he would be able to do it, and he did. And when you hear it, I play electric guitar on it as well, and but when you hear his bits, you'll go, that must be Johnny, and he gets the last word on the entire album. It's just this fantastic outro, which is reminiscent of all his great Smiths works, very melodic, beautiful, and he's a top geezer. I love him to bits.
I have heard two more tracks than you, Jim. Last week or the week before, a guy called Ray, who I'm sure you know, came in.
Raymondo,
and he plugged in his iPhone into our studio, and he had some encryption password on it, and he said, "I can play you two other tracks from
Which
the
ones
album."
were they?
I can't remember the name of them. I only heard them once.
Riverman? Was Riverman one? Did it have a saxophone in it?
No, didn't hear that.
There's one a bit disco.
There was one very chill that was like, "Oh yeah, I'm liking that."
Oh, it might be the Dying of the Light. That's a good one, that one.
But it was good. Good stuff.
Thanks. Yeah,
I liked it.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, seriously, the album is that good. It's probably going to stiff.
No. I don't think that's possible.
Now he also promises great things. I said, "Look, do you think Mr. Gallagher could come into us in the studio when he's overplaying in Dublin?"
We'll have to change our names, Nobby.
I'll come in.
We're 30 seconds.
If I tell my two boys, "Dad, where are you? I'm in Ireland. What are you doing today?" "I'm going to see Gingin and Nobby." They'll go, "Oh, brilliant. Can we ride them as well?"
Well, I interviewed when Nobby was on holidays. I interviewed
Brian Adams,
and he asked, "Where's Noddy?" And I said, "He's in Toy Town with big ears." So all this Glastonbury stuff, there was all this hoo-ha. There was rumours in the paper last week. It was all, "Oh yeah, Glastonbury. Noel Gallagher says he wants to do Glastonbury," and that's just as a solo artist.
No. Someone said to me, "Would you headline Glastonbury if you was asked?" And I said, "Yeah, of course." I probably won't get asked though.
Well, you've definitely put the batsing there that you want to do it.
Oh, I'll do it. Oh, don't worry about that. I'll do it, and that'd be great. But I'm not sure. They usually want big world mega artists, don't they?
Well, what are you then?
I'm kind of a localized irritant.
That's some 75 million albums. That's fairly local, isn't it?
No, well, that was Oasis. That's not me, though. I'm kind of
come on.
I kind of like just, the handyman who lives down the street, that irritating handyman.
It's a very strange way to describe yourself.
No, what's it like looking on at Man United at the moment as a City fan?
It's not as good now as it was last year. Last year was unbelievable.
It's great, wasn't it?
It was pure comedy from start to finish, and it was, and even the start of this year, I was away on holiday when the season kicked off, and I was saying to my mate, if I could have, I don't even care if City win the first game, just if United lose that first game, it'd be unbelievable. And they did. I mean, it's just, it's turned into an incredible madhouse over there. It's great.
You're a big fan of Jose?
He's an irritant, isn't he?
Well, then you're like brothers then.
Well, I mean, before City had the investment and were kind of direct rivals, I reckon if I ever seen him in the street, I probably would have kissed him. But now that we're direct rivals, I might boot him in the bollocks. You know what I mean? Kind of gets on your nerves, doesn't he?
Would you say he has a bigger yacht than you, or would you say you have a bigger yacht than him?
Oh, he's got a massive yacht, surely. I've got a little dinghy. It just fits in the bath.
And whatever happened to that Rolls Royce that was in the swimming pool? Was that someone else's?
That was the second-hand one we bought for the day. My Rolls Royce that I got given, I think I sold that a few years ago. I can't drive, so there's no point in me having it. Really,
you can't drive.
I've never taken a single driving lesson. I've taken one driving lesson, and I'm not cut out for it.
But you could presumably buy any car in the world that you could...
Oh, trust me, that's not stopped me buying a few cars.
What do you do with them? Just pretend you're driving and go vroom vroom, or...?
I give them to my wife. She drives them, and I.
That is quite clever, actually, because you can give her the car, go to the pub, she has to drive.
This is it. I never be the designated driver, but I've got a couple of cars, but I always planned to do it, and then never quite got around to it. My rightful role in the car is in the back seat, listening to music, staring out the window. I'm not one for sitting at traffic lights listening to a sat-nav telling me what to do. I'll smash its face.
No, but the enjoyment you could have from driving the cars that you've made money to buy.
No,
yes.
I remember growing up with my old fella who's some Meath, and I remember looking across at him thinking, he doesn't really enjoy this driving. He is beyond an insane man when he's behind the wheel of this car. And I thought, please remind me not to do that. But none of my family drive. Liam don't drive. Our Paul don't drive. My mum doesn't drive. I don't drive.
You drive neither car nor golf ball.
I was destined to have a chauffeur.
You were
destined.
You were.
That is just incredible.
When you're looking at the window and the songs come to you, is it the lyrics that come, or is it a melody? How do the ideas drop in there? Because when you're
I'll be sat home just playing the guitar, just messing around, and then like maybe a couple of chords in a row, and I think, I like them, and then a melody will kind of start to develop. And then I'll finish an entire song and arrange it melodically and all that, and only then do I start writing the lyrics after that. And that can take anything from 15 minutes to 20 years. I'm not even joking. There's a song on this album that's taken me 23 years to finish.
Whoa!
How come?
Because it's an old song that I wrote in 1993 before Oasis was signed, and it never made it onto Definitely Maybe. I don't know why it never made it onto Definitely Maybe. I wasn't that pleased with that. And then I gave the verse of it to the Chemical Brothers when we did that track Setting Sun in the 90s. And I always thought, well, I'll just write another verse for it, and because the chorus was so brilliant. And then every time I went back to write it, I could never make the two things fit together. And then about 18 months ago, I was walking home from the Tesco's, and I just turned the corner onto my street past the Boots, and lo and behold, didn't it just fall out of the sky, and bang, there it was, innocuously, and it started to rain just at that point.
Was it sitting? Does the lyrics sit in a drawer somewhere, or what happened? What was it doing for the last 20 years?
It was obviously it wasn't its right time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like an overdue baby. It's like it's coming when it's coming. It's coming when it's coming. That's the end of it.
Very overdue baby.
I tried to induce it for many years. With the calipers.
Yeah.
And the KY jelly, but no. But I got it.
It's a painful process, songwriting, isn't it?
Well, it can be. It can be if. Not for me, it's not, because I'm writing by myself, so I don't really chase it. If it's not happening, it's not happening. I guess if you're in a band and you're writing, collaborating, and you're due to make another record and it's just not happening, if you're relying on other people, if you're like Mick Jagger and you're relying on Keith Richards, or if you're Morrissey and you're relying on Marr, I can imagine that being quite painful. But for me, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't really chase it, to be honest.
You mentioned your babies there a little while ago. Do you see the wild side of Noel from all those years ago
Yes.
in any of them?
Yes.
Does
My little fella, Sonny.
Does it frighten you?
No, it doesn't frighten me. My eldest lad, who's 7, is a very kind of calm, considered. He's quite artistic, sensitive young lad. Takes after his mum. The other fella is an anarchist. He has no perception of rules or what they mean, and he's just like, I'll demolish everything in my path before breakfast. Yeah.
Nice mix.
His party trick is to just run up behind you and punch you in the bollocks. That's what he does. And then run off, shouting, nothing.
Are you a good dad?
Brilliant. I'm the best dad in the world. And do you know how I know that? Because I've got a mug at home that says it on it. So, I mean, why would I have that? Why would they have bought me that?
Well, yeah, of course.
Why would they have you got one?
I have, actually, but it's...
And you're not even a dad?
I'm a dad.
He is. I'm waiting.
Right.
I'm still waiting.
Right.
It's like that long-waited song. It's waiting to be induced.
You'll get one eventually. What kids have you got?
I've got a little boy called Bowie and a little girl called Amelie.
Oh, Paul Weller's got a boy called Bowie.
I know. I had mine first. He copied me.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Literally just before.
But David Bowie, you both copied him though, really, didn't you?
Oh.
Well, do you know Bowie?
What's his surname?
Nugent.
Bowie. Now that's a rock and roll name.
It is, isn't it?
I wish I had a name like that. That Flying Birds thing would be gone in the morning. Bowie Nugent.
Well, man,
wow.
You made my day. I'm going to go home and tell my 3-year-old. Noel Gallagher.
This is a man who's destined to do topless photo shoots. Bowie Nugent.
Don't take it away. Don't take it.
I'm telling you, Bowie Nugent. I'm going to keep my eye out for that lad.
Do.
But like you couldn't have had this conversation with Noel Gallagher 15 years ago. You can talk to him about kids now and surnames maybe you could. I mean, I've never spoken to you before.
I probably would have been drunk 15 years ago.
I think when you heard we were called Jim and Nobby, you relaxed. This isn't going to be one of those interviews.
Yeah. Well, if someone had told me beforehand, if Raymondo would have said it's...
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
It's Chin and Nobby, I'd have gone, look, mate, can we do this another time?
Can I ask you one question about Oasis? And if you do have to, you kind of mentioned it earlier on in songs. If there was one Oasis song that came on the radio and you still go, yeah, that was a good one.
Supersonic,
yeah,
rock and roll star, the importance of being idle, Lila, Champagne Supernova,
Cast No Shadow.
Yeah, Cast No Shadow. Yeah, I'm not really too big on the recording of that album, the Morning Glory album. It's staggering to believe because we only spent 12 days recording that album, and about 2 weeks mixing it. So really, they were just a bunch of demos. Do you know what I mean? I never really had chance. I wrote those songs really on the hoof and recorded them on the hoof. And I'd love to go and re-record that. I would love to have been given the time to kind of have 6 months to. I could have made that album so much better than it was. But yeah, Cast No Shadow's a great. So it's better when I do it now when I'm sat at home playing it, I think.
Have you got a piano close by there that you'd like to?
No, I can't play the piano. Pianos are for squares. What are you talking about?
They're for squares.
Yeah, squares. Well, you name me a cool keyboard player.
Elton John?
Oh, dear. Yeah, go on. Another one.
Ben Folds.
Oh.
What?
Ben Folds.
Ben Folds what?
Ben Folds.
Ben Folds Fivers. No,
Jamie Cullum?
Not cool.
Jamie Cullum.
Prince.
Prince is not really a keyboard player, even though he can play the keyboards. Liberace? That's a bit more your gear, isn't it? Hey.
By the way, we were only allowed 10 minutes with you, so if you're okay to keep talking, we're okay to keep talking. But
I'm all right. I'll go and get Noel in a minute. I'm just his warm-up act.
Who is this?
That's pretty good sounding like. Yeah. Why don't you remaster some of those albums? I mean, you have the time.
Why did we remaster them?
Why don't you? If you're not 100% happy with what's the story, why don't you just go?
You can't go. You can't Paul McCartney. You can't go re-record them. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of like they're parts of people's lives.
Yeah. I know.
I wouldn't go. No, what I mean was I'd love to have been given back in the day, like to have recorded that set of songs and then maybe been given 6 months to kind of rethink it all before it was recorded. No, it's there now. It's recorded.
Yep.
No, because I remember a few years ago, a slightly different version of Boys Are Back in Town by Thin Lizzy came out, and it did sound digitally.
There was a different take, and you had different lyrics.
No, you can't. No,
and people went mad.
No, you can't do things like that. You can't do things like that. That's nonsense.
You could have really bad.
It would have been. the beauty of playing live is you can play them live whenever you want, and kind of like I do Cast No Shadow sometimes acoustically, and I kind of feel it's a better vibe, and like I pushed the Beat Champagne Supernova though. That was a pretty good recording,
yeah.
And Wonderwall was a bit mad. Don't Look Back in Anger, love to re-record that.
But is that you're just a musician in you? They're just perfectionists that you're never happy, really?
No, I got more happy with the recordings as the years went by, because we kind of took we did. If people don't realise, we from Supersonic to the end of the BA now was only like 3 years, and we did 3 albums and 4 world tours.
Wow.
And like to fit all of that in 3 years. Now, a tour lasts me 3 years. Never mind recording 3 albums and all the parties and all the nonsense and the chaos that went with it. I don't even know how I managed to become a drug addict. I didn't have much time. That was hard. You know what I mean? It was like fucking. I was going to see my doctor saying, "Look, mate, I really have got to go and become a junkie." Do you know what I mean? I have to do this.
It was dedication.
It was dedication. I fucking meant it, man.
And what do you do after a gig now compared to 15 years ago?
I
wind down differently, or?
No, I usually call it a night pretty. I've got to save my voice now. I've become a singer. The biggest square in the band. Terrible. And so I've become like back in Oasis. Me and Gavin would always be up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, because of course I wasn't the front man, so I was just playing the guitar. And then by the time I got to sing my little songs in the middle, I'd be well and truly warmed up. But I've got to be on it now from like 9 o'clock. So I'll just maybe go back to the dressing room, drink a couple of bottles of brandy, and then smoke about 40 cigarettes, and maybe dance to David Bowie till 7 in the morning, and then call it a night. So.
When you're on the road, are you a box set kind of guy?
I find it very difficult to watch things that are not actually happening on television. I don't. You know what I mean?
I know what
if
you mean,
something is taped, I can't watch it because it's already been on the night before.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird, but I do. I did catch up recently on. I've seen The Wire now and Breaking Bad. But I'm not really big on that American television thing, to be honest.
Okay.
But you did like Breaking Bad, yeah?
Breaking Bad was good until the 5th series, which I found quite insulting.
Well, there's a brilliant series, an Irish one called Love Hate. It's a gangster drama. It's a huge hit here.
Love Hate.
I'd say you'd love it.
You'd like it.
I have to see. There's a film called. People keep telling me it's great, called The Guard.
Oh yeah, it's very fun.
Oh yeah.
A few friends of mine said you've got to see that film. But the last great thing I seen was The Wolf of Wall Street, which is unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a great film. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Noel, how's Miles Kane doing? We had him in a few years ago, and he didn't really want to talk too much about the work you and him had done. So maybe you don't either. But I think he didn't want to be. He wanted to be on his own as well. So he didn't. Is he okay?
Bless him. I was all right. I seen him the other night. Actually, he was dressed in. What I can describe as a woman's blouse. Yeah, but he was good though. He was all right. He's on top form, Miles. He was. He played on a track on my previous album, but what he did never made the final mix, unfortunately. And I sang some backing vocals on his record. But yeah, he's a good lad, Miles. And
do you ever keep an eye out for kind of up and coming? Not that he's anymore, but new singers coming up. And
there's some great new. There's a great band that have been taken on by the people at my office here called Neon Waltz. They're Scottish guys. They're brilliant. Who else is good? Do you know Benjamin Booker?
Heard, yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff at the minute. You've got to keep your ears to the ground and find it. I mean, I'm not really that. I'm relying on like people like Raymondo here to tell me what's happening, but there's some good stuff happening, I think.
And does Raymondo or yourself pick who supports you on this tour?
I do.
Okay, so who's going to be?
It's a band called the Black Rivers, who used to be 2/3 of the Doves.
Yeah, brilliant band.
That's the two brothers, Jez and Andy, and they've got a new record coming out called, I don't know, but it's musically, it's fantastic, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So they'll be doing that part of it, and then the gigs later on in the year, I think, will be this band Neon Waltz, who are great, and I'm not sure around the rest of the world. You're kind of, local bands. Yeah. In Belgium, eh? They can be a bit tricky. Trust me.
They have nice architecture in Brussels.
Yeah, when you see them before the gig, you say, yes, we're Franz's support band. I think you're really gonna dig our shit. and you say, oh yeah, well, I'll come and have a look at it, and you've got to watch them play, and after a note you just go, that's fucking awful. Who put these on?
No,
like somebody's doing that motion,
Okay.
which means on a football pitch, the substitution, but what it means for this is like, get the fuck off the phone, there's another guy waiting to speak to you.
We've got 26 minutes, we were meant to get 10, so we're happy with that.
No, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
All right.
The offer is there. If you do want to call in when you're over in Dublin, we'll have a coffee for you.
Yeah, you'll never see me again.
Raimondo knows where we are. Okay.
We'll never speak again.
We'll bring you a piano or a guitar, not a piano or a keyboard.
Hey, it was a pleasure.
Cheers, dude.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Noel Gallagher. It's the Strawberry Alarm Clock. It's FM 104.